So we say bienvenue et willkommen. We've got the French and the Germans. It's Vichy, Club de l'Aviron de Vichy, France, on the left of the picture, and Verein Datteln von 1928 from Germany on the right.
I always love watching the starts in the cocktail sport because somebody within this boat will be steering, and that adds pressure. Having done it myself, it is a big challenge, especially the island. When you look at the water, when you're on the water, the course looks so wide, but when you're in the boat, it's really narrow and it feels incredibly close.
You are so right. It seems enormous, doesn't it, when you look, and particularly from above, from the drone, and seeing here, it looks like quite a wide course, but it really isn't. So we are just at the barrier, just around 700 meters down the course now, so about a third of the way. And what we can see, the Club de l'Aviron de Vichy. Here we are, the French crew with their distinctive yellow, black and white have taken an early lead. Looks like a little bit of a bounce on the water here, Mo. We have, you know, an open river, so we've got cruisers coming past the whole time, but not a problem for these guys. They row on a wonderful reservoir, 5-kilometer lake in Vichy, which has hosted various championships through the ages, and so doesn't cause them any trouble. And then we can see the Germans from a fairly scratched crew, actually, the Germans, as we come live down the course, looking at them in their white boat behind. Just raced at Ratzeburg, but it's a fairly new combination for them.
You can see in this aerial shot that the crew from Germany has a bucket, which means there are two rowers on the same side, whereas there's a normal conventional rig in the crew from Vichy. But that's often done by the coaches to be able to incorporate the rowers together to try and generate better rhythm, better power. Some people cannot sit in certain seats either due to their size or their technical skill set. So it's really interesting when you see a mixture of either conventional rigs or with a bucket like this.
Yeah, so, I mean, Mo, you were Olympic champion in Rio in a coxless 4. You had to think about how to seat the crew because you had quite different sizes and shapes in that crew. How did you go about it? How did the coaching team think about that for you?
Well, I think Jürgen had a really good eye and really good understanding about where he wanted very early on. So actually, I stroked my pair and I sat in front of Alex Gregory, and then we sat in those seats in the 4 in the bow pair. So I was sat at 2 on bow side, following George, who was also on bow side, and so we were sat in a bucket, and I think that just helped us generate a rhythm. It gave me a seat. I was too big to sit at bow, and then I was probably not skilled enough to sit at 3 to be able to translate the rhythm from the stroke. And so it's really important that you find the home and you find what works best for a crew. And you do see very different shapes and sizes sat in all different seats, and it's just about putting the piece of the puzzle together to generate the best rhythm and the best boat speed.
Super insightful. It's a bit more sort of alchemy than chemistry, isn't it, as you say there, but some of the best coaches just have the eye for that combination, who's going to work well. And even when there's different sizes and shapes and physiology, you can get a boat to incredibly fast, but that's part of the experience and the art.
Yeah, it is, and you'll sample that through the season. So these crews that we see all week will have been testing their way through in different seats, in different makeups of personnel within the boat, and then they bring over their best, what they feel like is their best boat speed and rhythm.
So it looks like the Germans on the right of our picture, the Bockman brothers, Connor at bow and Leo at 3, with Willem Strulik at 2 and Soren Henkel at stroke. They've been, I'm afraid, rather dominated by the French. Great row down the track for them, but the crew from Vichy have looked really sort of comfortable and fluid through this race, and we'll get the chance to enjoy their rowing in the next round here. This is the Wyfold Challenge Cup, Hardfort Club Open 4s event. Great international race. Thanks for joining us in Germany and in France as you watch through the afternoon. We've got one more race until the tea interval, but just to confirm that result, it's the Vichy crew from France beating the Datteln crew from Germany in the Wyfolds.